Welcome back to the show. This is the Daily Brief with me, Samuel Njoroge. Our sign language interpreter for the hour will be Walter Asewe. Keep using the hashtag The Daily Brief at K24TV and at Sam W. Njoroge. We've been getting updates from our reporters across the 47 regions, and we shall keep up with the momentum across the second hour, get more updates for you, especially on the stories that are developing closer to you. But for now, let's get back to the court and listen into the court case Mithika Linturi versus Marian Keitany, which enters its day 2 today.
That you confirm that I am the one.
Thank you. Then proceed.
Then after that, I was asked to sit down. The sitting was such that on one side was his people and on one side was our people. So I sat next to my mother.
You sat next to your mother?
Yes.
Yes?
And the discussions began. I remember one of the questions that Mithika was asked by Andrew was whether he was married to any other woman. And Mithika himself said he was not married to any other woman, and even produced a document showing Andrew that is a judgment of a marriage, that this marriage that he had was already, he had already divorced.
Your father, Andrew, posed the question whether he has capacity to marry.
Yes, he did.
And whether he has any other wife. And it is evidence that he confirmed he had no any other wife.
Yes.
And you have told this court that he showed to Andrew a document which you call what?
A judgment.
A judgment. What was the judgment about?
We don't know, because Andrew looked at the document, then showed all of us and said, he says he has divorced, he has no other wife.
Thank you.
He's ready.
Was this document left to you or to Andrew?
It was given back to Mithika Linturi.
The document was handed over back to Mithika Linturi. What next happened?
Then after that, Andrew, the old man, one of the old men, described the process of a dowry negotiation. Now that it has been confirmed, they first asked him about his clan lineage, and my uncle also mentioned my clan, my lineage. And after that, one of the old men explained the whole marriage ceremony, traditionally as per the Kalenjin custom or the Nandi customary customs, what usually happens. And after that explanation, then, okay.
Mithika and his people are coming from which sub-tribe?
They are coming from the Igembe sub-tribe of Meru.
So your people are from?
Nandi.
Why was this Nandi elder explaining to them the customs and practices of the Nandi marriage?
Because I was going to be given away, or I was being given away based on the Nandi customary traditions.
So the marriage ceremony was to be conducted under the Nandi customary marriage?
Yes.
Kindly confirm that that was put across to them.
Yes, it was.
What was their reaction?
They had no objection. The only thing they mentioned is that from their Igembe sub-tribe of Meru, they also perform a particular ceremony after the marriage has been confirmed, and that is the exchange of Mira. So when my parents or when my relatives were told about that particular ceremony, they said that that is in order, except that it will not be carried out inside the room, because inside the room was going to be the Nandi customary marriage.
All right.
They will do that.
Sure.
Okay.
After where they were explained the Nandi customary practices of marriage, you confirm that they also say they have their own Igembe customary practices.
Yes.
And that is what you have told the court. What is that customary practice?
The exchange of mira.
Exchange of mira.
Yeah, where the man who is married gives the lady the mira, and the lady will give that mira to the parents. Then the parents now distribute. No, she'll pick a piece and then give the mira to the parents, who then will give the rest of the crowd.
Who gave this male Igembe customary practice?
Rufus Meriti.
Rufus Meriti.
Sorry, I'm not sure whether it was Rufus Meriti or Henry Tongai, one of the two.
One of the two.
Yeah.
You are not sure?
I can't remember who it was.
One of the two gave those,
yes,
that customary practice.
Yes.
How was it resolved?
So it was resolved that inside the room, the rights or the marriage that will be used is the Nandi customary marriage, because they have come to Nandi, they have come to our customary marriages, and after we are done and the daughter is handed over to you, we will then go outside where the rest of the crowd are waiting, and outside in the crowd then you will now carry your customary tradition, which is to hand over the mira, and that is how it is resolved.
So the Nandi culture became the dominant culture.
Yes.
Thank you. Did they agree to that?
Yes, they did.
What then happened?
So the old, after they agreed, they were taken through, they agreed, they were then asked for the cows, because in the Nandi customary law, it's about cows. They were asked for the cows in the order in which they are usually given. I can't recollect them very well, but they were asked for the cows, which they gave in form of money.
So, the customary marriage you're talking about, the Nandi,
Yes.
there is what is called cows.
Yes.
What is this cows for?
The cows are an exchange of dowry.
They are dowry.
It's dowry. Yeah.
It's dowry. It's all right. They were dowry. How many cows were they asked to pay as dowry?
I can't quite recall, but they should have been about 6, 4, I don't remember.
The big men are coming.
Yeah, they will
The guys
give
will
the explanations, yes.
So dowry was agreed.
Yes, and after the dowry was agreed, he gave the money in exchange instead of the cows.
The cows were translated into money?
Yes.
How much money? Now we call it dowry. How much dowry in cash did it amount to?
I do remember, I think it was about 100,000 Kenya shillings.
100,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes. And then after that, the final part of the ceremony was done, where Mursik, which is...
We have not reached about
oh,
this.
sorry.
It was only 100,000 shillings or any other?
He gave 100,000 shillings.
Yes.
And also mentioned that he has another gift for my mother, which he was then told for gifts he will give outside.
From the courts, would like to take you to Uasin Gishu County. Yesterday, we saw the Third Way Alliance Party make way to Uasin Gishu County Assembly, where they tabled the Punguza Mzigo Bill. And right about now, we've got our reporter, Timothy Simwa, who joins us live from Uasin Gishu County. He is engaging members of the County Assembly, Uasin Gishu, on what they feel are the merits of the bill this far. Thank you so much for joining us, Tim. Kindly bring us up to date with what you've prepared for us.
Some after the court cleared the Punguza Mzigo bill to go ahead and be presented to the county assemblies, and we understand that the process had begun a little bit earlier. The Third Way Alliance leader and of course the proponent of that bill, that is Ekuro Aukot, made his stopover yesterday here in Uasin Gishu County, where he got a moment to share with members of the county assembly. And at least from the report, I can report that that bill was unanimously endorsed by members of the county assembly. According to them, they think this will be that silver bullet that will, of course, relieve many Kenyans from the ever-ballooning wage bill. And they say there are many other things that also comes with this particular bill. We understand that from here, Ekuro Aukot will be headed to Nandi County. That's a neighboring county to Uasin Gishu County. And so maybe it's in this regard that we sought to talk to a number of county members of assembly of Uasin Gishu just to get to tell us their opinion, what they think about this particular bill, and maybe perhaps the reasons behind the endorsement of that particular bill. Mheshimiwa, you'll begin by telling us your name and maybe the ward you represent. Then particularly, in your opinion, what made you endorse that particular bill by Ekuro Aukot?
Thank you very much. My name is Mheshimiwa Noah Kemboi, Moiben Ward, and the chair also of education in the County Assembly of Uasin Gishu. Yesterday, as you did said, we actually unanimously, as you said, passed the Punguza bill as given by Dr. Ekuro Aukot. I want to say that we, as an Akando County Assembly, we saw it wise that we passed this bill. And because this bill is very good, in that, in my own opinion, and we are still seeking the opinion of the ward, we'll have the public participation, so that the people also down there in Mashinani, down there in our wards, can also listen to it, interrogate it, and later on give their own opinion. But in my own opinion, I want to say that this is a God-given chance for us to punguza muzigo, because really Kenyans are overburdened by so many things. I want to tell you that one of the greatest challenges that Kenyans are having today is that we have so many people who are unemployed, and yet they have so many degrees at home. Every household today has somebody who has gone to the university and is at home. And when they were going to school, they were being told that immediately you finish your schooling, you will be employed. I want to say unemployment in this country is an issue. The surge is up, and we want to say that we listened to a court giving us the insight yesterday, and we saw that this bill will bring down the level of spending in this country, and therefore the burden that the people have been burdened by a lot of taxes, by a lot of burden from loans from outside countries like from China. Currently today, Kenyans have a burden of up to about 5 trillion shillings. And you realize that that one can be very bad for our economy and also very bad for the industries that would have even employed these young ones. So we are actually saying this is the right time. After all, I hear other people are going around and saying that this thing is not good and there are a few things that we need to change. Kenyans are used to changing things. Why don't we just pass it again? Then later on, we can see and amend a few areas. After all, this is something that I want to urge all Kenyans, all Wanjikos, all Kiprops, to ensure that they pass it. Personally, myself, even if it will mean that I will lose this seat, and very few leaders are employed, or very few leaders are elected, then that be it. That's why I with all those kind of efforts that the Ekuro Aukot has made, I want to say I personally support the bill and wish and even pray God that this thing passes through, so that Kenyans can for the first time rest assured that there will be a future for them.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Kemboi. Maybe on your part, Mr. Chomba, there are the critics of Punguza Mzigo bill say it has been designed to actually attract the support of MCAs. In any case, we understand that even in Uasin Gishu, there has been a tug of war between you and the executive so that you can control a part of the budget that's normally set for the counties. Is that one thing that has made you to unanimously pass this bill?
I'm Peter Chomba, MCA for Huruma Ward, at the same time chair for ICT and e-government in the County Assembly. Yes, this bill is God-sent. is a bill that needs to be supported. This bill, things that were happening before, I was a councillor from 2008 till 2013. We had LATIF money that every ward got equal amount, and we were able to do a lot of projects. The projects that we did then are projects that I'm proud of, because there is a lot of projects that can be seen that I did as a councillor. But since the devolution 2013, until now, I've been an MCA twice. There's nothing to show, even in Huruma ward that I represent. There's nothing to show, because apparently Huruma ward is the most populated ward in the county of Uasin Gishu. Huruma ward gives the most revenue in the county of Uasin Gishu among the wards that are here. But there is nothing to show. Even projects that were supposed to have been done in 2014, 2015, 2016, until today, the executive has never implemented it.
How does Punguza Mzigo address those issues?
It addresses it by the money, when it comes from the national government. It will come straight to the ground, to the wards. All the 30 wards will benefit. But right now, it's more of which wards the governor favors, and Huruma ward is not part of the wards that he favors. So when it comes to the member of parliament for the same area, for Tarubo, we have been marginalized on issues that concerns even human rights. We have a lawyer who is a women rep. She keeps quiet when all those things are happening in the town, where the askaris, county askaris, beat up shopkeepers, they steal from them, but nobody speaks. We have a senator. The last time we saw her in Huruma ward, after we elected her, we have never seen her again. So we are marginalized, but if this money can come straight to the wards and the people to decide what projects they want, it is going to work. But apparently for now, nothing is working, and we need also, when leaders talk about peace, about bringing people together, after they leave the platforms, we want them to do what they have been talking on the platforms, because in county of Uasin Gishu, it's the opposite.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Chomba. Maybe Mheshimiwa Ramadan, briefly, because we don't have time. Yeah. There are also people who are talking of an alternative bill. We know we are yet to get that report from the BBI, but there's of course a lot of talk around that area. So what happens next when we have these two bills on the table, and you guys have already endorsed this particular, the Punguza Mzigo one?
With me, from day one, when I heard about the Punguza Mzigo, I was for it. And I've not seen the contents in the BBI, but as per now, the way you have heard my colleagues talking, that is the way we are going to go. Because right now, the issue of devolution came to benefit Kenyans. Whoever community you come from, whoever you are, provided you are Kenyan. But the way we are going, we are seeing if what the governor decides to do is what will be done. In terms of development, where he decides to put development is where the development will go. And if we go on that way, you can see if you get a bad governor who just thinks of his own people, then other people, the 30% will suffer in that county. So me, I am for Punguza Mzigo. The BBI have not gone through, but I believe this that has come first to me from day one, I am for it. I am a Kenyan, I have my opinion, and as me, with my colleagues, the way they have said, we are totally supporting it because we have had a problem. Like my ward is the only opposition ward. That's Kiplombe ward. And now we are suffering. This is my second term. But the first term, I could not do development fully because I am from the opposition party. The ward has been neglected. And even now, from the time we came in, for the last 2 years, we have not done any tangible development in Kiplombe ward. So with that scenario like that, then we have to support Punguza Mzigo for the funds, the money for funds for development to come direct to the ward and be decided at the ward level.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Those have been some of the comments we've had from members of County Assembly for Uasin Gishu. Maybe perhaps while it might not be my call to make, but it's fair to mention that Punguza Mzigo perhaps is gaining traction among members of County Assemblies, having heard that yesterday they unanimously endorsed that Punguza Mzigo bill, and they hope that eventually it will be voted in and maybe be embedded in our constitution and maybe solve some of the problems that have been rather they have been able to share with us as far as the issues of devolution and development is concerned. That's all we got from us here in Uasin Gishu. Back to you in studio, Sam.
Thank you so much, Tim Simwa, for that update live from Uasin Gishu County. Quickly, let's move to Kisumu, Kondele to be precise, where youth have decided to confront the OCS, that area of what they claim is rising insecurity cases in that particular region. Let's now listen in.
Until today, no investigation have been done. The wife is here. The wife and the brother. Here is the wife. Mpaka saa hii hakuna investigation imefanywa.
At the same time, you are claiming that we should be giving you reports from the ground. And giving you the reports, nothing in my
are using militia people.
Picking alcohol, those who are
there was one day that somebody was from
Waragi people is where we put this let's be the order is just moving on the same way direction. Nothing like order.
Watu wote pikipiki wanapita na mapolisi wamekaa tu wanaona vile watu barabara wanaenda mpaka mtu aulewe.
They have come along. Sasa wanasema ati report hakuna very long. Yaani kuna report inafaa iwekwe. Na report na gari ya polisi ndio imebeba. Hii itakosa report surely. Why can't that report itakosekana kwa station na gari imetoka station kwenda kuchukua mwenye amepigwa.
Kama kazi imeshinda nyinyi mwache tuende tufanye hiyo kazi nje.
There was an incident. We are tired. Polisi hapa kazi nzuri ni kwenda kupata hata ile siku washika mtu wetu alienda kwenye makosa.
Order, sikiza hapa. If you want to brief the press, kindly
we'll do it. We'll do it.
Please. For the time being, allow me kuandikia madam report so that we take the next course of action. Sawa. So I only want madam hapa peke yake na maybe somebody else. But the rest.
And from Kondele, let's now take a break. When we return, our studio discussion begins with my panel right here.